All right, I want to hit you with this. Lauren Daigle, who's a top Christian singer, recently went on the Ellen DeGeneres show and basically on social media got slammed for it pretty hard among the Christian community. And I asked Steve before the show, he's like, who's Lauren Daigle? But I know he knows the songs. He just doesn't know who's singing it. And this is on the Billboard.com. But it says Lauren Daigle makes a splashy debut at number 3 on the Billboard 200 chart with her new studio album. And this is among the secular music realm. And it says that it's the highest ranking Christian album in almost 9 years. So she's going to the top. And Ellen invited her on her show, and then Christians attack her for doing that because, Ellen, as we know, is claimed homosexual, and so there's this thing that goes on for that. What do you say to Christians who are telling her that, and what does the Bible say about how we relate to the people around us in the world in that situation?
Well, we talked about this beforehand. What if Ellen DeGeneres invited me on her show? I would go. If only to be able to talk to Ellen DeGeneres, just to be able to share the Lord with her, just be kind to her and show her the love of Jesus. And so absolutely I would go. You know what? I would go. There's not many places I wouldn't go. Right. If somebody invited me and asked me to come and speak to them. I guess there would be some places that I might not, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. I'd go anywhere that anybody invited me to come and speak. Right.
And she's singing a Christian song on live TV.
Yeah.
She's performing on her show.
Right.
Now, they attack her. They say that by going on there, it gives the wrong message by saying that she supports and condones Ellen's philosophy or lifestyle. What do you say to that?
Well, that's exactly what the Pharisees said about Jesus.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you eat and drink with sinners and tax collectors. Well, of course he did. And the reason that he did was because he was trying to reach sinners and tax collectors. Now, if she went on the show and she told Ellen, I approve of your lifestyle,
right.
and I think homosexuality is great,
right.
and by the way, what other sin can we talk about, and that's good too, then that's a reason to talk to a believer about that kind of stuff. That's nothing but compromise. But going onto a show like that and getting a chance to minister to the people that are listening into the show, much less getting an opportunity to share with that lady, with Ellen DeGeneres. What a cool thing. You don't even know what happened when the cameras weren't going, what kind of conversation that they had behind the scenes, and I would just think the best of Lauren and what a good opportunity. I hope she went for it. Yeah.
Don't be judgmental then, especially you don't know what she said.
I mean, can you imagine Jesus not going on Ellen DeGeneres' show?
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Of course you would. So.
And that's the same thing for our friends that are in the homosexual life. And I'm talking about this just because we're talking about it, it's in our culture, but it could be any sin.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with our friends. Now, would it be different? Like in my area that I am up north, there's a pastor there who apparently may be homosexual. So what about pastors who are homosexual and people that are sitting under that? Is that in a different realm than what we're talking about?
Yeah, I would have a problem with that. That's like saying, what about a pastor who rips people off?
Right.
What about a pastor who is committing adultery? What about we could just keep it in the realm of sexual sin. What about a pastor who's committing adultery? What about a pastor who has more than one wife? What about a pastor who's single and sleeping around? None of that's good. And so the Bible talks about the sexual relationship, the physical relationship, and it confines it to marriage, and it confines it to a man and a woman. And so one man, one woman, and that's how Jesus defined marriage. And people talk about Jesus didn't say anything about homosexuality. Jesus defined marriage in such a way that he dealt with adultery, homosexuality, incest, any sexual sin that you can come up with, bestiality, anything. He just defined marriage. And he said, at the beginning, it was one man, one woman for life. And that's what marriage is in the Bible. And so he dealt with that whole thing. And so as Christians, that's what we're supposed to be doing. And so if I was dealing with a pastor who was okay with homosexual or a homosexual, then the guy is a guy who's I don't even know if he's saved. I don't know at that point.
Sure.
Because again, I would be saying the same thing about any number of issues.
Right.
If I got a guy who's in bad business dealings and he's unrepentant about it, I don't know where this guy is at. What is the deal with that? And so obviously you want the guy who's up front to be an actual follower of Jesus Christ, who loves the Lord and who's willing to do what God says in whatever situation. So whether it's in the physical relationship or whether it's in other relationships, they need to be able to do the things that God says. You've got to be obedient to the Word of God. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you? Oh, I was going to ask. We probably.
And let's just talk about Ellen too. Ellen's an unbeliever.
Yeah.
So she's not walking with God, and so man, again, it's an opportunity, and I've seen Ellen over the years, and she seems like a nice lady, and so I would be telling her about Jesus. She needs Jesus just like anybody else does.
Right.
And so, again. With Lauren, when Lauren Daigle, when she goes on there, hopefully she was a good witness. I didn't see the show, but hopefully she talked to Ellen about the Lord and left her with a good impression.
Yeah.
Yeah. You love people, man.